turn on the torch, light up the flames. Time to melt some glass, my friends. There you are. Here I am to explain, to teach, and create again. Yeah, getting it just right. And here I am back in my own little corner of the world, and it was a great trip. Turns out, while I was working that torch, the National was making a funny like whistling noise and stuff like that, and I didn't really realize what was going on until I actually finally stopped and cleaned the tip. And once I cleaned the tip, it was sharpened up, it was doing its job and doing well. Today, we're going to make an eye. The eyes have it, that's what we're going to do. I know a lot of people have a problem with the eye, but I will make this a little bit simpler than most. With that, if you've seen me make the bloom shroom, this is an extension of the bloom shroom, basically. First, we're going to flatten this out a little bit. This is going to be the top. But instead of a shroom stem, it's going to be clear at the back. You'll see what I'm talking about. First, I got my green exotic encased, and I will put you a video URL to the green exotic encased so that you'll see that being made. I just take some North Star green exotic and layer some clear over it and swirl it around, and it comes out really, really interesting. But with that, we're going to go ahead and you can see, this is some nice round half ball. Just can't get too close. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and now add a round dot to the middle of that. Like so. Just one big round dot, and that will be the dark part of the iris, or the eyeball itself. See, it's now what I usually make into the top of the bloom shroom. And what it just took me like a day or so ago, and I will put a URL connection to me making the bloom shrooms. And you can practice this. If you get that black dot centered quite nicely, that will be the dark part of the eye, and the rest of the green will be the iris of the eye. Okay, and you still leave some of the rim showing. If you do not show, if there's, and you can sort of, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's still a little bit of that green trim showing out. And just like I make the bloom shroom, now I'll add clear to the bottom part where the stem usually was, but not touching the green exotic, leaving it sort of like a hill, valley hill. You see that, right? But in the middle of that is where the rim of the eye, or the rim of the green extends. Okay? Now, we will now heat it up and make it into a round ball. And as we make it into a round ball, the two hills will even out, and the valley will go away, and as it goes away, it'll expand the rim of the iris to this eyeball. This should help it cool a little bit. I'm going to also, I've got a marble mold. Of course, you can't see it. Right there. I'm going to heat up the top of where the bloom shroom is, and now smash it a little bit to widen the eye and the iris. If I do that right, it keeps it centered. If I do it wrong, it off-centers the eye part of the iris. But it will still work because you can figure out which side of the iris is the best. I'll let that cool and let you see the top of it. And I'll also get out a couple more of, and you'll see what's going to go on here. You'll find out Now let it cool a little bit more. Now you still can't see it. It's still, but the round part in the middle is the iris, or the black part of the eye, and the green around the outside edge will be the iris to the eye. Now, you'll find that it might not be one side might be a little bit misshapen, but that's okay. What you're going to do is now go ahead and take some white. I believe this is North Star white of one color or another, and round that in. Now you'll have the whites of the eyes. Now's the time to pick the sides of the eyes. And you'll see one side is a little blotchier than the other, like the top isn't quite round. But that's okay, the eyelid will come down on top of it. In other words, hide your mistakes. So now you figure out where you're going to make the top and where you're going to make the bottom. And if it becomes out nice round ring, it doesn't matter. And if it does, okay. And the eye continues to be made. Oops, I a little bit too much white on the top of that, but we'll get to it in a minute. A little bit more. Yeah, looking good. Oh, I made a little bit of a blotch right on the top edge here, and that's where I can heat it up and just pull it away a little bit. But it won't show up too badly because, again, the eyelid that you're going to put over this thing should hide most of the blemishes and most of the problems. Okay. I wish that there was a way to show off this without too much trouble, but it is looking good. Now, you're going to go ahead and start putting the eyelid. And the top is on this side. You'll look at it and you figure out which side you like the best for the top and the bottom of the eye. It's your own discretion. And now I'll just add the eyelid. There we go. Now the bottom of the lid, bottom of the eye, also. Frame it all in. I'm using a very dark blue that I got from MGA, Mountain Glass Art. And it was under their overstock. Pretty good price, probably Chinese. Works out really, really well. A nice color variation. You can see that eye coming along quite nicely. And now I'm going to go ahead and put a cold seal front of the eye and pull off all the stuff from the back of the eye. And flatten it just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and cover the whole back with, like, actually you can make that into another eye. You can have two eyes, but all on the same machine here. Neither here nor there. I'm going to go ahead and flatten that a little bit more. There we go. Now I'm going to go ahead and cover it all with this dark blue that I have. You could use turbo cobalt, it would get you the same results. And make it a nice little piece of glass. You'll see in a second, I'm going to also put a bail on top. Keep it going. All the way across, layer it. Line it quite nicely. And then smooth it all in by just letting it flow in. Do a tap off there. Yes, it didn't happen every time like that. But after a lot of practice, anything is possible. You can see the iris looking pretty good and everything. Now a matter of feeding up the whole thing. I'm going to stretch it out just slightly. That'll help flow all the glass that I've been playing with, making it a little bit more formal piece of glass. One piece, not several pieces stuck together. And of course I am going to be annealing it very shortly. Now I'm going to do the bail. And I'll do that in clear. Why? Because I can. Looking pretty good if you ask me. I'm going to make this into a ribbon and then I'll flatten it out and then curl it over. Give it a little bit more width. You'll see. Flatten. Stretch. Pull forward a little. Whoop, don't do that to me yet. Cold seals. You need them. You gotta learn how to make them. Sometimes they can be a headache, and sometimes they can be a blessing. Right now, it's being a headache. I will show a picture of this on Facebook and also a picture of this on Instagram so that people can see what I've done. If you have any questions, comments, actions, never hurts to ask. Now, go ahead and pull this off. As always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Carpe vitro. And enjoy your day.